The gilt gap is, I think, an important concept for commercial producers to be aware of. And recent research has shown very clearly something that we've always known, but has quantified that gilts grow slower. And because they're growing slower, their market weights are lighter. And with lighter market weights, we tend to see more discounts and greater sort loss. And by having this suppression of estrus, what we do is actually turn off ovarian activity. So the nutrients that would be going toward reproductive tract is slowed down, and those nutrients are now available for growth and development. And what we see is dramatic increase in feed intakes post-second dose of ImproVest. And so what we do is we bring the market weight of the gilt up, so you have more pounds to sell for production, and at the same time, the processor gets heavier carcasses, more uniform carcasses, and greater value to the carcasses because the primals will be heavier, the belly value will be greater, the belly yields are there, and it increases the intermuscular fat or the eating quality potential of the gilt carcass.
When estrus is suppressed in market gilts with ImproVest, studies have shown an improvement in average daily gain during the grow finish period of approximately 4% with 95% confidence intervals between 3.4% and 5.5%. It's important to note that the mechanistic action of this response in average daily gain is driven by greater levels of feed intake after the second dose of ImproVest is administered. However, no or very minimal impacts on feed conversion rate are reported in the body of research that's been conducted with this product. This impact of ImproVest and market gilts for average daily gain results in approximately a 3% heavier carcass weight with 95% confidence ranges between 2.5% and 3.7%. We look at what the average carcass weight that we see in the United States is. That number was 215 pounds in 2021. So a 3% improvement in carcass weight would equate to approximately 6.5 pounds of additional carcass weight. But perhaps what's most interesting, and this has been backed by a lot of both research studies as well as commercial data that's been collected to date, is the impacts of ImproVest on population uniformity and the improvements in the percentage of full value pigs marketed when ImproVest is administered. When estrus is suppressed in market gilts with ImproVest, fat quality is the component of meat quality that's affected to the highest degree, both fat quantity as well as fat quality. Marbling has been shown to increase by about 0.25 percentage units, or about a quarter of a subjective marbling score. Back fat thickness has been shown to be increased by, again, 2 to 3 millimeters, and belly thickness has also been shown to be increased in the range of 2 to 3 millimeters. Another measurement that we would use to determine fat quality would be iodine value. So iodine value would be a measure of fat firmness as well as fat stability during periods of storage. And it's been shown that ImproVest, when administered to gilts, will decrease iodine value 2 to 3 units. And whenever we compare margin over feed cost with ImproVest females when compared with conventional gilts, it's around a break-even economic situation. But these equations should also factor in the percentage of full value pigs marketed, which ImproVest has been shown to consistently provide meaningful advantages when compared with conventional gilts. Another thing to factor in here would be premiums that offered on a grid-based system. We have several studies that show we more consistently hit target weights when gilts are administered ImproVest when compared with conventional production. For ImproVest would offer substantial advantages to the packer, especially when pork's being marketed on a quality-based system. Another consideration here with integrated systems would be the greater weights that can be achieved with ImproVest, as well as more uniform carcass weight and carcass composition that can be achieved with ImproVest. The other thing that should be noticed would be greater pass rates, both for domestic markets that are quality-based as well as export markets. There's actually a study that was recently conducted in 2021 that evaluated commercial pass rates for the loin primal. And in that study, they concluded a 22.3 percentage unit improvement in loin pass rates that factored in marbling, color, and firmness was achieved with ImproVest gilt carcasses when compared with conventional gilt carcasses. So an improvement of 2 to 3 iodine value units for fat quality, and 2 to 3 millimeters of thicker back fat and belly thickness should improve belly quality and should improve premiums that could be achieved for higher quality bellies. And then the last component would be the economic advantages for heavier primals and their impacts on fabrication economics, which I think that would be very meaningful in my mind to a packer.
InfraVest needs to be looked at as a process. It requires a timing of key activities. One timing would be the dose of the 2 injections. And so we want to look at the interval between dose 1 and dose 2. And then also very critical is the timing post-second dose. And so we see this dramatic increase in feed intake post-second dose. And if we market the gilts too late post-second dose, feed efficiency could be eroded because that gain is increased and fat deposition has accelerated. And so timing post-second dose and then the timing of the intervals between dose 1 and 2 are the real critical parts of InfraVest implementation. I think it's one of the most exciting technologies I've seen in my 45-year career. And the reason I say that is because an obvious biological difference is being resolved because of the way we manage gilts. And it really helps get that gilt where it performs more similar to a barrow. And that's really the absolute benefit, is that I get an increased uniformity in the group of animals I sell, which brings more leverage value to my costs, as well as I'm satisfying my customer, the processor, and then creating a more desirable product for the consumer. So it very much is a classic win-win opportunity.